Hi, my name is Peter Giuliano, and today I'm going to talk about the Japanese iced coffee method. When I started as a barista, we always made iced coffee using leftover hot brewed coffee or this cold brewed coffee, which tasted flat and stale and completely uninspiring. So when I went to Japan for the first time in the mid-90s, I experienced iced coffee in a completely different way. The iced coffee I tasted there was clean, fresh, sweet, aromatic. And so I started to do some research, asking Japanese coffee experts about what the Japanese iced coffee thing was all about. And I learned a very important concept, that to make the best iced coffee, what you do is you make hot brewed coffee but cool it instantly, dripping the brewed coffee directly onto ice. And that makes it cool right away, locking in all the aromatics and sweetness. To do that, I devised this method that I adapted from the Japanese method that I could do in my house and in coffee shops here in the States. So what I do is very simple, and I'll explain it to you. Now, if you watched the Pour Over Basics video, you're going to recognize I'm going to do the exact same method, except I'm going to replace part of the water with ice. In that video, I used the recipe 16 ounces of water, which I brewed with, to 1 ounce of coffee. So, in the Japanese iced coffee method, you'd reduce the amount of brewing water from 16 ounces to 8 ounces and replace that with 8 ounces of ice in the serving vessel. So weighing it is the most accurate thing to do. And in doing this, one thing that I learned was that most ice cube trays are made so that 1 ice cube equals 1 ounce. So I'm going to use 8 ice cubes for that 8 ounces of water. Perfect, 8 ounces. Then I brew it like I normally would. And as I brew, what will happen is the brewed coffee will drip onto the ice, cooling it instantly and diluting it to exactly the right strength. You don't need to use this precise method to do Japanese iced coffee. You can use a large-scale brewing machine for making larger batches of iced coffee, or you can use a Chemex. Anything that drips the brewed coffee onto the ice will work. The idea is to cool the coffee instantly so that it's hot for less than a second. What happens is the hot coffee is cooled down rapidly, locking the aromatics and flavors into the coffee and reducing oxidation. The ice melts and dilutes the coffee to the perfect strength. If you leave it hot and then put it over the ice, it'll have an oxidized kind of cardboardy flavor, and that's what detracts from the enjoyment of most iced coffee. This method leaves the coffee really sweet, really clean, with all of its aromatics intact. It's a completely different experience. We've found that most people dramatically prefer iced coffee prepared in this method to any of the other methods of making iced coffee. Finished iced coffee is really bright and clean tasting, so it's best to use coffees that complement that. Sweet, crisp coffees like this one, which is El Gavilan from Ecuador. If you do that, you'll wind up with perfect, sweet, delicious iced coffee. So that's the Japanese iced coffee method. I do pretty good at serving, huh? Barista. Lame.